our guest speaker for today. And Tyler, where are you? You could be on deck. Thank you.
Everything has a beginning and an end. Even this speech does. There are exactly 65 sentences in my speech, 3 of which you just heard. We've all been to speeches before and we dread the entire thing, wanting to get to the end. But let me assure you, I won't take up too much of your time. It will only take about 5 minutes for my entire speech. Applause and tips at the end would be appreciated, but you wouldn't want to shake my hand because it's drenched, since I'm kind of nervous. So as for you all, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. First, I want to thank you, teachers, administration, and staff, and all who had to put up with us. Thank you, class of 2012. And all of you who made this a wonderful experience for me. I am truly humbled and honored to be part of the first graduating class at Tuscarora. Very importantly, I want to thank you, Mom and Dad, for teaching me everything that has made me the person I am today. I am more than grateful for that. But most importantly, I want to thank God, because it is by His divine intervention that I stand before you today. However, these thank yous do not mean an end to these relationships. This is only the end of our high school careers. The reason we are all gathered here today is because we are ending this stage of our lives and moving on to the next, something greater. We've been more than blessed to live in Northern Virginia and receive this excellent education. But now it is time to move on. Endings are just the doorways to new beginnings. This may be the end of high school for all of us, but it is also the beginning of life after high school. It all depends on how you look at it. Some people are moving into a job, into trade school, Nova, or a four-year university. And honestly, hats off to those of you attending Nova, because you're probably the smartest of us all with the money you're saving. The reality is, the minute you leave this room today, you've taken the first step towards a new beginning. The beauty of it is, these new beginnings can change our lives and us, changing our lives from misery to complete and utter happiness. For most of us, going to college next year will change who we are and make us new people. I know it will for me. Even going from elementary to middle school and then middle to high school was one of the biggest jumps for me. These were 2 of the biggest times in my life where an ending opened up the doorway to a new beginning. To be honest, these were some of the hardest years of my life, and I know it had to be the same for many of you too. Like every other kid, we were thrown into completely new environments. We didn't know the school, we didn't know many other students, we didn't know the teachers, and we especially didn't even know ourselves. I had trouble being accepted and tried time and time again to find friends who would always be by my side. It was the same thing with relationships. People all around me began getting boyfriends and girlfriends. I tried it too. I thought that it was the cool thing to do. I thought that if I just joined in, then I would finally be accepted. I thought that was what life was really about. Every single attempt with friends failed, and it seemed like there was no way out. This continued and continued, as if I was in control of my life. I thought that I was in control of everything. Yet, after every attempt, I would feel more and more depressed. Eventually, I decided to go to a new school, Tuscarora, with you all, class of 2012. You all made it worthwhile, but the main reason I came was so I could have a fresh start. While I was here, I went on a trip to Virginia Beach, which ended up being one of the greatest weekends of my life. It also ended up being one of the greatest turning points of my life. I realized the way I was living was not working. An end had to be put to the way I was living before a new beginning could emerge. That weekend, I dedicated my life to Jesus and began a relationship with Him. That was when everything clicked for me. And the funny thing is, I didn't pursue God, but God pursued me. However, life is still not the easiest. There are still the constant daily problems and hardships of life. Those don't go away. Yet, those hardships have been ever so easier because God has always had my back. He's provided me with all that I've ever needed. It wasn't until God ended my old way of living that the doorway was open for the beginning of a new life, a life with Jesus. You know, my entire life, I thought the point was to look out for myself. I aim to have the most money, look the best, and be dating the most beautiful person. I focused solely on myself, doing whatever I thought made me happy, and nothing more. And I know that many of you are living the exact same way. But the reality is, we came into this world with nothing, and we can take nothing out of it. From that, I've come to realize that one's life does not consist in the abundance of his possessions. I found out the hard way that this is true. What I want to do is I want to challenge you guys today to put your hope in something greater. I've been putting my hope in a lot of different things. The question I leave you all with today is, what do you put your hope in? And will it last? Thank you and God bless.
Good morning. It is an honor to stand before you today to present the 2012 Faculty Scholarship. The Faculty Scholarship is a $2,000 scholarship awarded to a senior recipient voted on by the school faculty. This student has been involved in SCA,